Welcome to Anchored Thoughts, where we navigate life's storms together, one conversation at a time. I'm your host, Dr. Toni, a licensed and board-certified psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner. I'm recording this from aboard our yacht as my husband and I travel America's Great Loop. And no matter where these waters take us, one thing remains the same. We all face moments that challenge our minds and test our emotional anchors. Each week, we'll talk about anxiety, overthinking, relationships, and everyday struggles that come with being human. I'll share evidence-informed tools, practical strategies, and real-world insights from years of helping people improve their mental health. All in one way that's easy to understand and hopefully leaves you feeling a little lighter than when you arrived. So whether you're listening on your morning commute, winding down after a long day, or lying awake with a mind that just won't quiet down, I'm glad you're here. So take a deep breath, settle in, and let's find today's anchored thought. Have you ever replayed the same memory over and over, wishing you could erase it? What if I told you the harder you try to forget it, the more your brain hangs on? One of the things I've learned while traveling many miles by water is this. Sometimes the current wants to pull you backward, even when your destination is ahead. Our minds can work the same way. So have you ever found yourself replaying the same conversation, the same mistake, or the same painful memory over and over? Maybe it's something you wish you had said differently. Maybe it's a relationship that ended. Maybe it's something you wish had never happened. You tell yourself, I'm done thinking about this. But somehow, there it is again. What if I told you that the harder you try to force those thoughts away, the stronger they often become? Let's talk about why. First, I want you to know something important. If your mind keeps revisiting old memories, it doesn't necessarily mean you're broken, weak, or incapable of moving on. It means you have a human brain. Your brain's primary responsibility isn't to make you happy. Its job is to keep you alive. It constantly scans your experiences, asking one question: could this happen again? When something carries a lot of emotional weight, whether it's embarrassing, painful, frightening, or life-changing, your brain marks it as important. It stores it in the hippocampus, which acts as a central index that processes and binds the overall experience, while the prefrontal cortex stores specific details and regulates active retrieval. That's easy to retrieve because it believes remembering it might protect you in the future. Being out here on the water has given a different perspective on this same thought. As we're making our way around the Great Loop, there are places where we have to pay extra attention. Certain locks, certain bridges, certain narrow channels. Every captain remembers those areas because they require more focus. Your brain works similarly. It doesn't replay every ordinary Tuesday afternoon, but it replays the moments that change your course. The challenge is that your brain isn't always good at recognizing that the danger has already passed. So when the memory resurfaces, your body may react as though you're right back in that moment. Your heart races, your stomach tightens, you feel guilt, regret, shame, even fear. So even though you're sitting safely in your living room, or maybe listening to this while you're driving to work, another reason these thoughts stick around is something that psychologists call rumination. Rumination is your brain's attempt to solve a problem that's already happened. It's almost like your mind keeps saying, maybe if I replay this one more time, I'll finally figure it out. Unfortunately, most of the time, it doesn't bring peace. It simply keeps the emotional engine running. And here's something fascinating. The harder you try not to think about that something, the more your brain checks to make sure you're not thinking about it at all. It's like someone saying, whatever you do, don't picture a lighthouse. Most of you probably just pictured that lighthouse. That's how your brain works. So if you've been asking, why can't I just get over this? Here's what I want you to remember. Reoccurring thoughts don't always mean you're holding on. Sometimes they simply mean your brain hasn't fully learned that you're safe now. One thing we've experienced on this Great Loop journey is that you can't fight every current. Sometimes trying to power straight against only wastes fuel. Instead, experienced captains acknowledge the current, adjust the heading, keep moving towards their destination. Our thoughts are similar, and we don't have to battle every thought that shows up. We just acknowledge it. We adjust, and we continue moving forward. So I want to give you 3 ways to loosen the grip of reoccurring thoughts. Number 1, name the thought. Instead of saying, why am I thinking about this again? Try saying, I'm noticing I'm having a memory about, and fill in the blank. That small shift reminds your brain that the experience is just an experience, not your identity. Number 2, give your worries a docking time. Instead of letting reoccurring thoughts interrupt your entire day, Choose a specific 10 to 15 minutes of worry time. Tell yourself, I'll come back to this at 6 o'clock. You'd be surprised how many thoughts lose their urgency by the time that appointment arrives. Number 3, anchor yourself in the present. When your mind drifts into yesterday, gently bring it back to today. Look around. Name 5 things that you can see, 4 things that you can feel, 3 things that you can hear, 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. This simple exercise reminds your nervous system that you're here, not back there. Also, know when to ask for help. These strategies can be incredibly helpful, but sometimes reoccurring thoughts are a signal that your brain needs additional support. If these thoughts are interfering with your sleep, your relationships, your work, or they're connected to trauma, grief, anxiety that doesn't seem to improve, please know you don't have to navigate those waters alone. Working with a mental health professional isn't a sign of weakness. It's simply having an experienced navigator beside you while you find your way. So as I sit here looking around across the water, I'm reminded that boats leave a wake behind them. The wake tells the story of where you've been, but it doesn't determine where you're going. Your past may always be a part of your story. It doesn't have to steer your future. You don't have to erase the past to reclaim the future. Healing begins when you stop fighting the thoughts and start understanding them. So I want to thank you for spending a few minutes with me aboard our Great Loop journey. If today's episode encouraged you, share it with someone who may be carrying memories they're tired of carrying alone. So until next time, keep your mind anchored, your heart open, and remember, even when the current feels strong, you can still choose the direction of the journey. I also want to thank our listeners for providing feedback from the very first episode. So keep sending along your feedback, and maybe your comment may be featured. Until next time, take a deep breath, be gentle with yourself, and remember, life may bring the storms, but you choose the anchor. Stay tuned for new episodes every week. Stay anchored, my friends.